Hey there, Grand Rising. You have to excuse me, I'm kind of in the dark because, you know, reasons. But anyway, Grand Rising. I'm still expanding on the conversation that I had the other night in regards to the differences. So I got further confirmation because, you know, in order to get medication, it's best that you see a therapist. So I am currently on medication with anxiety. But I went into the therapist, and I actually also see a smoke cessation counselor. So the same thing was brought up in both places, and this is like so important because I had an incident with my primary care physician, which has been resolved, but they both noted something that is very important. Okay, so when speaking with my doctor about my mental health and my current suffering, he did not agree. And the reason he didn't agree is because I don't display a lot of the things that are noted in anxiety. In fact, on my Fitbit, my resting heart rate is like 58. Okay. When I'm going through a stressful event, my heart rate increases to 62% or 62. So heart rate is 58. When I'm stressed, it goes to 62. Not, and even then, I'm in the normal range for heart rate, and I always have been, regardless of what I've been going through. That is because I am conditioned by chronic stress. So outwardly, I do not display the symptoms of someone who's experiencing intense anxiety, yet I do experience intense anxiety. You cannot see what's going on in someone's mind. And so, you know, I brought this up to my smoke cessation counselor, and she had said, like, you know, the thing about you is you tell me all of these diagnoses that you had in the past, and you are not like the people that I see that also have that same diagnosis. Like, then I went to the counselor, and she said the same thing. But then she also mentioned what I mentioned in regards to narcissistic personality disorder. For all disorders, there's criteria. There's 9, and none of us are going to tick off the same 5 that you need to be diagnosed with. So every single person's diagnosis looks different, because we're not all going to have the same 5. But because regular people do not recognize that, or do not have the education in regards to it. Like, for instance, my counselor, the person who was given the ability to speak to me, does not know all of the criteria in the DSM-5 for anxiety. You know, she has to look at that. Whereas I do. So I know that, you know, I know. So you, normal person, average person, you do not have the knowledge of what's required in the DSM-5 for narcissistic personality disorder. You do not know what the criteria is for borderline, for bipolar, for anxiety, for PTSD. So when someone tells you, hey, I think I'm dealing with a person who has narcissistic personality disorder, you see, you have like a stereotype that you're looking for. Most people have a stereotype as to what mental illness looks like. And so if they don't present as grandiose, well, then they can't be narcissistic. But there is actually one for covert, you know what I'm saying? So that is what has been my biggest hindrance in getting the proper mental health care too, because I have never really, everything is self-reported. So I haven't really ever been able to be taken seriously because I don't tick off the common, like I don't check off common things for certain things, and so people don't commonly believe me. Especially if they don't have the medical background, the background to say, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, you probably are. So that was something that I wanted to bring up because it was confirmed to me twice. Now third time, because, Richard Grandin's video as well. So, yeah, I wanted to bring that up. We're different. No person, I mean, it's possible that one person and another will have the same 5 marked off in order to be considered a certain type of mental illness. But the criteria expands that. So you can have a person that is narcissistic and grandiose and a person who's narcissistic and not grandiose. You can have a person who is narcissistic and does not seek revenge, but they will fall into the others quite easily. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too that I thought about, I remember when I said I was doing my Quora answers, when I was on Quora really heavily, one of the primary questions that I always got had to do with revenge. So a lot of people seem to have a conflict of if revenge is something that is necessary or okay. So a lot of people are grappling with one of the 9, which is seeking revenge, right? So I just, I hope everybody has a good day and a good evening if you're on the other side of the planet. Yesterday was Aaron's birthday. It was great, but I'm I'm actually really exhausted and wish I could take a day off, but I can't. So I'll see you later.